Have you ever felt like you have all the time in the world? Like you can just push off your dreams, your work, your life until tomorrow? What if I told you there's a secret about time that the laziest person can learn, and it can change everything? Get ready to hear the story of a boy named Alex and the old, silent clock that taught him the most important lesson of his life. Alex was, by all accounts, a good kid. Kind heart, quick smile. But if lazy were a professional sport, Alex would have been the world champion. He lived in a cozy little house, surrounded by love, but his own little corner of the world was a mess of delayed intentions. His alarm clock would scream at 7 a.m., but he'd hit snooze until 8, then 9. School projects started the night before. Chores? They waited until his mother's patience ran out. Alex had a beautiful mind, full of ideas and dreams. He wanted to be a game developer, to build worlds. But every time he sat down to start learning the code, a voice whispered, "It's okay. You have plenty of time. Just relax today." He truly believed it. In his mind, time was an endless river. Why rush? Why stress? One summer, Alex's grandfather, a quiet, wise man, came to stay. Grandpa Elias noticed Alex's habit. He watched Alex spend hours scrolling, dreaming, but never doing. He didn't scold him. He didn't preach. Instead, he did something peculiar. One afternoon, Grandpa Elias brought a strange, heavy object up to Alex's room. It was an old grandfather clock. Not one of those fancy new ones. This one was ancient, made of dark, heavy wood, and its face was cracked with fine lines. It was also silent. "Grandpa, what is this?" Alex asked, pulling himself up from his beanbag. "This, my boy," Elias said, gently setting it in the corner, "is a timekeeper. It's for your room." Alex scoffed. "It doesn't even work. The hands are stuck at 3:15, and it doesn't tick." Elias smiled a knowing smile. "Oh, it works. Keeps time perfectly. But only you can hear it." He winked. "It ticks with your life force, not with springs and gears." Alex just shrugged it off. Another weird old thing. He went back to his scrolling. But the clock sat there, a silent giant. For the next few days, Alex went about his usual routine of blissful procrastination. He'd look at the clock occasionally, hands stuck at 3:15, just a piece of furniture. Then the oddest thing started happening. One Monday, Alex's big history paper was due on Friday. He had promised himself he'd start on Monday. But Monday turned into Tuesday, spent playing games. Tuesday turned into Wednesday, spent watching videos. On Wednesday evening, Alex glanced at the old clock. The hands were still at 3:15, still silent, but something felt different. He felt a weird pressure, a dull ache of anxiety he usually ignored. He finally opened his textbook. He had 4 chapters to read, an outline to make, and a paper to write. It was overwhelming. He looked at the clock again, wishing it would move, wishing it would give him more time. That night, as Alex lay in bed, unable to sleep, the silence of the room was suddenly shattered. Tick. It was a soft, deep sound. Not a mechanical tick. It sounded organic, like a single drop of water falling into a deep well. Alex shot up. He looked at the clock. The hands were no longer at 3:15. They had moved. They were now at 3:16. Just 1 minute had passed, but in that minute, Alex hadn't worked. He had just worried. He closed his eyes, thinking it was a dream. Tock. Another sound. The hands jumped to 3:17. And with the jump, Alex felt a pang of regret. He realized he had just lost 2 minutes and he could never get back. The silent clock was now an active, terrifying countdown. Alex couldn't stop looking at it. The tick was now constant, but it wasn't a steady rhythm. It only ticked when Alex wasn't being productive. If he opened his computer and started typing his paper, the clock froze. The hands didn't move. The dreadful tick-tock sound stopped. But the second he paused to check his phone, the second he got distracted by a shiny thought, the tick came, and the hands moved forward, stealing a minute of his life force. It was a brutal education. Alex started to see his days differently. He wasn't just wasting a few hours. He was spending a part of his finite, real life on things that didn't matter. He saw the clock jump from 3:30 to 3:45 because he spent 15 minutes arguing with someone online. 15 minutes. Gone forever. He looked at the face of the clock. If he was working, its hands were still, preserving his time. If he was procrastinating, the hands spun forward, a cruel reminder of the moments he let slip away. The climax wasn't a sudden explosion. It was the slow, sinking feeling of seeing his future getting shorter with every distraction. It was the moment he realized the clock wasn't just showing him the time. It was showing him the cost of his choices. The fear was real, but it wasn't paralyzing. It was motivating. Alex didn't become a machine overnight, but he started changing. He still had dreams of being a game developer, but now, when the little voice said, "Do it tomorrow," he looked at the clock. He imagined the tick and the hands jumping forward. Instead of letting the clock move, he decided he would move. He started small. 5 minutes of coding practice before gaming. 10 minutes of cleaning his room before dinner. When he sat down to work, he put his phone in a drawer. The silence from the clock was his reward. It meant he was present. It meant his time was saved and being invested, not spent. The change in Alex was profound. He finished his history paper 2 days early. He started a small coding project and actually finished the first level. His room became organized. When his grandfather finally left, Alex helped him carry his bags. "So, how's the clock?" Elias asked, a twinkle in his eye. Alex smiled, a genuine, earned smile. "It's quiet, Grandpa." "Very quiet." Elias simply nodded. "Good. That means you're finally hearing it." A few days later, Alex woke up to his usual alarm and went to start his day. He looked at the clock. The hands were gone. Only a clean wooden face remained. The clock had done its job. The truth is, my friends, we all have that silent clock. It's not in the corner of your room. It's in your mind. Time isn't a renewable resource. Every time you hit snooze, every time you scroll mindlessly, every time you delay the work that matters, a quiet tick happens. A piece of your life is used up, not on rest, but on avoidance. The lesson Alex learned is this: you don't get an endless supply of time. You get today. And the only way to silence the anxiety of wasted time is to use it, to act with purpose. Don't wait for a miraculous grandfather clock to show you the cost of procrastination. Start now. Make your time quiet. Make your time count. What is one thing you've been putting off that you will start right now? Let me know in the comments below, and let's start making our clocks go silent.